জয় জয় রাসলীলা সর্বমনোরম। শিরাস মণ্ডল জয় জয় রাধাশ্যাম, জয় জয় রাসলীলা সর্বমনোরম। জয় জয় জলরস সর্বরস সার, পরকীয়া ভাবে যাহা ব্রজেতে প্রচার। জয় জয় জলরস সর্বরস সার, পরকীয়া ভাবে যাহা ব্রজেতে প্রচার। জান বা পাদ পদ্ম করিয়া স্মরণ, দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস নাম সংকীর্তন। শ্রীয়ান্ন বা পাদ পদ্ম করিয়া স্মরণ, দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস নাম সংকীর্তন। জয় রাধে জয় কৃষ্ণ জয় বৃন্দাবন, শ্রী গোবিন্দ গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন। জয় রাধে জয় কৃষ্ণ জয় বৃন্দাবন, শ্রী গোবিন্দ গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna. We welcome all of you on the behalf of ISKCON Jain on Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are having a very special guest with us. His Grace Rukmini Krishna Prabhu ji. Rukmini Krishna Prabhu is a co-president of ISKCON Punjabi Bagh. Prabhu ji is service based on the servant leadership principles based on Bhagavad Gita, and he's a very instrumental in the very vibrant community in the Punjabi Bagh, having more than 1,000 families and over 70 monks. Prabhu has completed his BTech from BITS Pilani, and he worked as a senior manager in the Bharat Petroleum for North India. And then he dedicated his full life for the ISKCON in 2003. Prabhu is the source of inspiration for many devotees across the world because of his sincerity and purity. He's very pakka in morning program and very special and expert in the dealings of the devotees, very sensitive in dealings. From the childhood, he was interested in the spirituality. He learned Bhagavad Gita from his father, and under his guidance, on the occasion of Gita Jayanti, just on a one day, devotees of Punjabi Bagh and whole community, they usually distribute 2.5 lakhs Bhagavad Gita in one day. Hari Bol, especially in the college, universities, hospitals, and all. Prabhuji is a senior counselor and philosopher, and he's having amazing skills in the dramas as well, dramas and skills. And he's very famous for especially Vaishnav relationships. He's preaching across the India. So we are fortunate enough to have his association. So let us welcome Prabhuji by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Grace Rukmini Krishna Prabhu ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jagajivan Prabhu. Thank you for your very kind words. One small correction: we distribute Bhagavad Gita on not in one day, 2.5 lakhs, the whole month. May your words become true, and we become empowered to distribute so much Gita in one day also. Thank you so much. So we'll start. So I'll share the screen, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. So yeah. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 14th verse number 14. Okay. So before I start, first of all, I'd like to thank, I'm feeling myself very much honored and privileged to be amongst all of you. And special thanks to His Grace Vijendra Krishna Prabhu and Jagajivan Prabhu. And it's such a nice, like last year in the Kartik month, I had this good fortune of visiting Ujjain temple, and I was really mesmerized by the kind of treatment devotees gave, and especially they used to feed me Rajbhog Prasad. I still remember that, and I'm being inspired by that visit. I was planning to come also in the month of June, but somehow lockdown is there. So this is a wonderful opportunity. At least we can have association over Zoom. So we'll start this Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 14. The name of the chapter is the Ideal Family Life. Okay. Siddhayeri yagya vishishtarthe kalpayeda vratimatmana sheshe svatvam tejan pragya padvim mehetam yat. So, word by word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Siddhahe, things obtained by the grace of the Lord. Yagya avashisht arthe, things obtained after a sacrifice is offered to the Lord or after the recommended Panchshuna Yagya is performed. Kalpayet, one should consider. Vritim, the means of livelihood. Atmana, for the self. Sheshe, at the end. Swatvam, so-called proprietorship over one's wife, children, home, business, and so on. Tyajayan, giving up. Pragya, those who are wise. Padvim, the position. Mahatam, of the great personalities who are fully satisfied in spiritual consciousness. Ayat should achieve. An intelligent person should be satisfied with eating prasad, food offered to the Lord, or with performing the 5 different kinds of yajna, panchashuna. By such activities, one can give up attachment for the body and the so-called proprietorship with reference to the body. When one is able to do this, he is firmly fixed in the position of a Mahatma. Purport. Nature already has an arrangement to feed us. By the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is an arrangement for eatables for every living entity within 8.4 million forms of life. Eko bahunam ya vidhati kaman. Every living entity has to eat something, and in fact, the necessities for his life have already been provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord has provided food for both the elephant and the ant. All living beings are living at the cost of Supreme Lord, and therefore one who is intelligent should not work very hard for material comforts. Rather, one should save his energy for advancing in Krishna consciousness. All creating things in the sky, in the air, on land, and in the sea belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And every living being is provided with the food. Therefore, one should not be very much anxious about economic development and unnecessarily waste time and energy with the risk of falling down in the cycle of birth and death. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namah Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So, this is the 14th chapter of 7th canto. So, after reciting the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, Narad Muni started for a normal human being, because Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu are two extremes. After the 10 subjects of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto is for the Uti. Uti means karma vasana, desires. So there are two extremes of desires. One, the desire of pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, and other, the karma vasanas of Hiranyakashipu. After describing those things in detail, the character of Prahlad Maharaj, the exalted character of Prahlad Maharaj. Now what is there for the normal human being? All of us have Hiranyakashipu also within us and Prahlad Maharaj also within us. So how should I lead my life? Then Narad Muni started 4 spiritual orders of the society, 4 social orders of the society, one an ashram, chapter 12 and 13, and then chapter 14 is started with ideal family life. Okay. And in the beginning of this chapter, the first verse, Yudhishthira Maharaj, out of his sheer humility, he is requesting Narad Muni to guide him, so that being a householder, he doesn't know what is the aim of my life. So kindly enlighten me. This kind of trend we see throughout the Bhagavatam. Now householders, no whenever a saintly person approaches them, like be it Prithu Maharaj, be it the father of Lord Krishna himself, Vasudev, whenever they meet a saintly person, they act like this, they don't know anything, although they're so exalted devotees that we don't know the aim of life, please guide us. And then Narada Muni starts telling them the ideal family life. Okay. And he has been telling that one should not be attached to his family, one should not be attached to his wife. And now in this verse, he says that Siddhet yagya avishtarthai kalpayed vritatmana sheshe stvam tejan pragya padvim mehtam miyat. Okay. An intelligent person should be satisfied with eating prasad. Okay. Avishishtarthi, whatever is food offered after the food is offered to the Lord, or performing the Panchashuna Yagya. Now in Vedic scriptures, there are kind of 5 kind of yagyas are mentioned for the Grasthas. There are these what are reciting the Vedas, and then attending the guest reception, and then the third was reciting Vedas, then this guest reception, and then feeding all the living entities. And there were other 4 I have noted down. One sec. 2 more were there, I'll let you know. So these are 5 yagyas were there to counteract the 5 sinful activities one performs unintentionally. You know, while when they are, we have been making some cleaning the floor, or transferring water from one pitcher to other pitcher, or lighting fire, okay, or when we are on the motor, when we are grinding something, or when we are crushing something, we are killing so many germs. So to counteract this, the 5 kind of these yagyas are there. Then one is this offering oblations to the forefathers, and then offering the fire oblations also. They are also the yagyas. Okay, the 5 yagyas are this. One was reciting Vedas, receiving guests, offering oblations to the forefathers, then offering oblations in a fire yagya, and then sharing your food with all the living entities. These are 5 Shuna yagyas. But for us, like we are in the Krishna consciousness, for us the major sacrifice is the Sankirtan yagya, and we all have good habit, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, whatever we take, we offer it to Krishna, and they take it as a prasad. Now, not only the food item has to be taken as prasad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj says a devotee take the entire material world as a mercy of the Lord, as the prasad of the Lord. And this is a difference between the mentality of a materialistic person and the mentality of a Krishna conscious person. The Krishna conscious person takes everything in this creation as a mercy of the Lord. And a materialistic person thinks that everything in the creation has been created for his own enjoyment. Okay. Everything, this moon planet, sun planet, everything is for my enjoyment. And this we can see in the modern day mentality. And once Prabhupada was telling his disciples, the Lord has created this material world for enjoyment. Everyone was very happy. Then Prabhupada says, not for your enjoyment, but for his own enjoyment. So that way, so one should know for what purpose the Lord has created this. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, Lord is maintaining everyone, be it an elephant or an ant. If the Lord can provide food for everyone, then why not for his dear devotees? Okay. Nityo nityanam chetso chetnanam eko bahunam ya vididhati kaman. So Lord is maintaining everyone. So like when Lord Chaitanya was teaching Sanatana Goswami Pad, so Lord Chaitanya described the 6 symptoms of surrender. Anukula se sankalpa, pratikula se vajanam, rakshasiti vishwaso, goptitve varnam tatha, atnikshepa karmanya, shanvida shanagati. So there are 6 symptoms: to accept what is favorable for devotional service, to reject what is unfavorable, to have a firm faith, the Lord will protect me, and the 4th is the Lord will maintain me, and 5th is giving up everything, Nivedan, and then humility. And out of these 6 symptoms, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad says the principal symptom of surrender is the fourth one. Goptitve varnam tatha. The Lord will surely maintain me. A devotee should have this confidence that Lord is really going to maintain me. When we know Lord Chaitanya started his Sankirtan movement from the house of Shiva Thakur, and the whole day in the courtyard of Shiva Thakur, the devotees used to be there, and the whole day they are having Sankirtan. So once Lord Chaitanya, just to test Shiva Thakur, he said, whole day you are with me dancing and chanting. How are you going to maintain your family? I don't see you are going anywhere for your work or earning money. How are you going to maintain your family? You know what Shiva Thakur said? He clapped 3 times. 1, 2, 3. See, I'll clap 3 times, and all my family desires are not fulfilled. I'll go to Ganges and drown myself. Lord Chaitanya just put his hand over his mouth and said, no, never say like this. For maintaining the devotees like you, even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, had to beg. She will beg, but you will surely be maintained. Anantshintayanto mam ye jana parupasate tesham nitya viktanam yoga kshema vahameham. Lord takes the guarantee. Lord gives this promise. One who is ananyaschintayanto mam is always with ananya bhav, is always absorbed in my thinking about me, serving me, then he need not worry. Whatever he has, it will be productive, and whatever he doesn't have, it will be provided by the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya assures Shiva Thakur. And we all have this practical experience. When we take part in this Sankirtan movement, we are surely maintained by the Lord. Once there is a very wonderful experience with us in year 2017. So all the devotees were going on a Puri Yatra. We had the Puri Yatra by His Holiness Gopal Swami Maharaj, and it was in the month of January. Deep fog, and the train Purushottam Express got delayed by many hours, 15, 16 hours. And because once the train is delayed, at every small station it is held up. So now the train is in Odisha, and it is just held up there. And we got the news it's going to be there for the next 2 hours. So what to do? All the brahmacharis were there, all the food stock, all the prasadam stock was exhausted. But they were just doing kirtan. And then the brahmacharis came to know the train is not going to move for the next 2 hours. They got down, just putting one devotee inside. And they said, let's have Sankirtan in the village. And they went inside the village and did the kirtan. And when they were doing the kirtan, they were pleasantly surprised. In one house, they saw on the front, Hare Krishna is written. Amazed. And then say that there were some Mataji is coming from inside the house offering Aarti. Wow. And then they invited the devotees inside. And they were too surprised to see Gaur Nitai inside their house. And then they came to know that, yes, this is one of the center being run by the Remuna Center. And it's a big center. It's a kind of a center, ISKCON center. In that house, they used to have a Namata program from there. The devotees were so excited. And then the devotees shared, we have not taken prasad for a long time. They're most welcome. How many devotees are there? More than 25. Please come and cook. And the devotees started cooking. Big feast. So, Paramajyate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. So sometimes we need Pratyaksh Praman. So really, the Lord maintains. This we should have firm faith, and this is a main symptom of surrender. Okay. You see, in the pastime of Narad Muni and Brigari, this is again the story being retold by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, Chaitanya Chaitam in Madhya Lila. And we all know the story of Nigari. And Narad Muni tells Nigari, break this vow, break this vow. And Nigari says, no, this is the bow source of my maintenance for my family. But Narad Muni says, I will maintain your family. So being assured by Narad Muni, he breaks his vow. And then he said, what should I do? He said, just go before a tulsi plant, start chanting. And he tells his wife, both he and his wife, they start chanting before a tulsi plant. The news spread all over the village that cruel hunter has become a saintly person, and the people used to come to him to have his darshan, and he used to bring lot of foodstuff with him, and he was so much oversupplied. He said, Narad Muni, please, I had enough. Then he has to do food for life. He has to distribute to everyone. So that way, Lord maintains everyone. So devotee should have this full confidence, because everything belongs to the Lord, and Lord has this maintenance arrangement for all living entities. Okay. Now, due to our false ego, we think I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Okay. And that's why that means I am maintaining my family. In one of the purports of this Mrigari story, Srila Prabhupada is writing a master statement. Prabhupada is writing, the source of our income is not the source of our maintenance. It's a very golden statement. The source of our income is not the source of our maintenance. Okay. So normally we think whatever I am earning, because of this earning only my family is being maintained. No. The family, nityo nityanam, so chetnanam, eko bahunam, yo vidhati kaman. Everything is maintained, everyone is being maintained by the Lord Himself. So the source of our income is not the source of our maintenance. Lord is the source of our maintenance. Like yadricha labha santushto dvandhatito vimatsara sama siddhava siddhosho kritvapi na nibadyate. Bhagavad Gita 4.22. Yadricha, whatever is obtained by the desire of the Lord, a devotee should be satisfied in that. So devotee doesn't, work so hard. Prabhupada in one of the purport he says, factory is another name of hell. A devotee, Prabhupada says, devotee works very honestly, and whatever comes on its own accord, he's satisfied with that. And he uses his time and energy in cultivating Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says, it is better to be an honest cobbler. Just by honest means we should earn money, and not to be a big industrialist and using all kinds of wrong means to earn money. Sometimes many new devotees, they give this excuse, whatever I'm doing is for the pleasure of the Lord, whatever I'm earning I'll use in Krishna's service, so I'll use some illegal means also. No, Krishna doesn't need our money. Krishna needs our our mind, our consciousness. Krishna is not in it. Krishna is a very wealthy person, the most wealthy person. So that way, so we should not be very much bothered about how we'll be maintained. But because of the false ego and because of our material conditioning, we think, no, I am going to maintain my family. So that's why Prabhupada says, Nate vidu swatgati hi Vishnu, durashya bhaiyarthamanena. And then we have false hopes. And then there's a whole world is struggling for existence. And Prabhupada says the struggle for existence means that everyone is trying to improve his economic condition. Everyone is trying that his miseries get down and his happiness increases. Dukkha is moksha is sukha is dukha moksha is sankalp iha karmana. Prahlad Maharaj says, whatever action one performs, he has two objectives: to increase his happiness and reduce his misery. But what happens? Sada apnoti hit dukkham. But the material world is designed like this. Whatever may be our desire, aspiration, we are going to get misery only. And we use so many means to counteract these miseries. But the methods, remedies employed for counteracting these miseries increase the miseries further. And in Puranjan Katha, Narad Muni gives an example. If you are taking actions to counteract our miseries, it's just like taking the load from your head and putting it on the shoulder, and then taking it from this shoulder and putting it on this shoulder. No, we cannot get rid of this, get rid of our miseries like this. This world is designed like that only. So Prabhupada says, one should not waste his time and energy in trying to improve his economic condition. And Prabhupada in one of the purports in 4th Canto 29th chapter says, one should work very hard to improve in Krishna consciousness rather than trying to improve his economic conditions. Because once we improve in Krishna consciousness, that will give us the permanent relief. Okay. So the devotees need not struggle for existence. Devotee must be fully convinced that everything belongs to the Lord, and whatever I am getting is the mercy of the Lord, is the prasad. Whatever I am getting by the mercy of the Lord, whatever I deserve, I am getting this, and I should be very much thankful to the Lord. Okay. Once in Mayapur, Prabhupada was walking on the terrace of the Lotus building, and devotees brought one businessman from Calcutta. That businessman had a glass factory, and they introduced him to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada asked, yes, what is your profession? He said, I am owning a glass factory. Prabhupada says, from where does the glass come? He says, glass comes from silicon. Prabhupada said, from where the silicon comes? And he was thinking for a moment, and they said, silicon is given by the God. Prabhupada, yes, everything is given by the God, but you are a thief. You are utilizing everything for your own purpose. Then, he just started smiling and he felt very awkward. And they said, but Swamiji, I give some donation also. And Prabhupada said, okay, you are a small thief. So people don't realize that Ishavasi Adam Sarvam. Everything belongs to the Lord and everything should be used in the service of the Lord. And whatever I'm getting is the mercy of the Lord, is the prasad of the Lord. I deserve only prasad. It is a mercy. And whatever prasad I'm getting, I should be satisfied by that. I should be, because it's mercy. What I get, I should be feeling, I was not deserving this. It is the extra mercy of the Lord. Okay. Now, in this material world, because of this false ego, everyone is trying to improve his economic condition. And everyone has a dream that with the improvement of economic condition, his happiness index will increase. So this is a major, it's a one of the most biggest illusion in this material world, that with economic development we'll become more happy. And the present COVID crisis has exposed this. We had even the most developed economic countries, now they are struggling. So in this material world, everything is decaying by the force of time. Time is, it is taking away everything. Kalo Asmik, Lord Krishna says. And everything is when decaying under the force of time, and a living entity under the impression of false ego is trying to grow, has expansion plans. I will settle down this material world, become very happy, become a big man. And the nature is decaying. We can see in our body, we are aging, the body is decaying. But the English language is so funny. We say ourselves, we are growing old. We are not growing old. We are decaying old. Every day, moment by moment, everything is under decay. When the force of time, we cannot stop the force of time. It's Lord's energy. Why should we struggle to go against the force of time and try to grow everything? No. So this material world is planned in such a way, and we should be working in accordance with the Lord's plan. Then our life will be successful. So this material world is planned to be in a decaying mode. So we should also lead our life that you should be winding up mode, not expansion mode. Wind up. The whole Varnashram is designed like this. Wind up this material life and go back to Godhead. Don't have any big plans for settling down this material world. This material body is like a journey. We have to just take this as a journey. Now, when we are traveling, then normally we'll like to travel light. You don't see a person traveling in the train carrying refrigerator and air conditioner. No, the intelligent person will travel as lightly as possible. And secondly, on the journey, when the train stops on the station, the intelligent person will not get distracted. He's always, where is my destination? What is the last station I have to reach? So he's always focused on that. It's not that he'll get down from the station, start purchasing something, and he'll miss the train. But normally it happens. Once happened. I'll share one experience. All devotees were going to Mayapur by Kalka Mail. And the Kalka Mail, if you know, it has a reputation always getting late. So when the Kalka Mail reached Mughal Sarai station, it's a big junction. So the scheduled stoppage of Kalka Mail was around 45 minutes or so. But because the train was already delayed, so there is no schedule followed. So some brahmacharis were there. So some of them took bath in the train itself. The two were there, said, we won't take bath in train. It's very contaminating. So Mughal Sarai station, the train will stop, will get down, go to the station, and the waiting will take bath. Okay, no problem. So they got down on the Mughal Sarai station, went to the platform, started taking bath, and once they were taking bath, the train started moving. And the train moved away, and they were there left stranded on the station in their gamchas only. After a lot of effort, they somehow could manage to come to Mayapur. So that means it's a kind of a journey, material world, and this material body, human form of life, is being given to us to make use in such a manner that after we give up this body, we go back to Godhead. Okay. So if carrying unnecessary load, unnecessarily meeting the demands of body, increasing the demands of the body, artificial needs of the body, we entangle ourselves. Someone say, why are you saying like this? No, what is wrong if I get some happiness by sense gratification? What is wrong? No, we defeat the purpose of human form of life. It's very, very dangerous. Prabhupada says very, very dangerous. We're getting entangled ourselves in the cycle of birth and death. If you're not active, performing activities in Krishna consciousness, we are leading a very, very risky life. And Rishabh Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto says, Para bhavas tavad abodh jato, yavad na jigyasat atma tattvam, yavad kriyas tavad idam manovai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. Para bhavas tavad abodh jato. Due to ignorance, we defeat the purpose of human form of life. Why? Yavad na jigyasat atma tattvam. As long as we don't inquire about the self-realization, we are defeating the purpose of human form of life. Yavat kriyas tavad idam manomai, because whatever activities we perform for gaining sense gratification, be it pious or impious, karmatmakam yena sharir bandha. What happens is our mind gets colored with the karma, and it is the cause of bondage in different bodies. You see, when we perform karma, be it pious or impious, we get the result suffering or some temporary happiness, or someone may go to even hell or heaven, be suffer, or someone will maybe downgraded to the lower species of life. Okay. By all these miseries, the sinful activity is nullified. But what is most dangerous is when we perform the activity and when a living entity is degraded into a lower species of life also, whatever action he performs, the sanskars, the impressions are there in the subtle body, in the mind. And these impressions, these karma vasanas are most dangerous. And due to these impressions, we continue in the cycle of birth and death. Karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. Karma is dangerous, but more dangerous than karma is karma vasana, because it leaves the impression on our mind. And because of those impressions, we all are sanskar driven. We accept or reject things based on our previous sanskars. And then we can't act with the instructions of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We go by our sanskars, and then we again and again entangle ourselves. Okay, so that's why one should always perform all the activities in proper Krishna consciousness. This Janmashtami is coming. So I was just reading Gopal, birth of Lord Krishna in Gopal Champu by Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. And there, the father of Nand Maharaj is Parjanya. He's born from his father's Parjanya had 5 sons, and Nand Maharaj was the third number son. And Upanand, the eldest son, gave the throne to his younger brother Nand Maharaj, because Nand Maharaj had all the good qualities, and Upanand voluntarily gave the kingdom to him. And Parjanya was about to retire, his father. So Nand Maharaj, before the Parjanya was retiring, Nand Maharaj asked him 3 questions. Nand Maharaj asked, what is the most dangerous thing in this creation? What is the most dangerous thing? Just listen carefully. And Parjanya said, karma. And karma is the most dangerous thing because it entangles everyone. Then he asked, so whom should we worship? What should we do? What should be the aim of human form of life? He said, perform bhakti. And then he said, what is the most cherishable thing? And then he said, association of devotees. Okay, so we are so fortunate. We have the association of devotees. We are in this moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. And now Prabhupada has given us such a wonderful system. So what we have to do, we have to engage all our activities in Krishna consciousness. And we have to be in this material world. Prabhupada says, the more we have a pessimistic attitude towards this material world, more will be enthusiastic in our spiritual life. More, because we should understand the plan of the Lord. What is the purpose of this material creation? It's a very temporary thing. And intelligent person, taseva hetu pratyeta kovido, na brahmetam yat uppari vada. In a human form of life, the intelligent person will use his human form of life to attain that which is not available in all the 3 planetary systems. So whatever for the maintenance of this body is required, the facilities for eating, mating, sleeping, and defending are predestined. I cannot change them. What I can change is the response to them. So my response to all the happenings in my life should be based on Krishna consciousness. Miseries will come, sufferings will come, some pleasant moments will come. How I react to them will depend upon my consciousness. The human form of life is meant for elevating my consciousness. Prabhupada says this Krishna consciousness is the training of the subtle body. We have to cleanse our mind. This facility for cleaning the gross body is available in lower forms of life only. Even dogs and cats, there's beauty parlors for the dogs also. So their gross body can also be nicely maintained. But the facility for cleaning the consciousness, for cleaning my inner self or the subtle body is available only in the human form of life. So we should be having the plans for only elevating my consciousness, not of settling down in this material world. Once a devotee asked His Holiness Jayadev Swami Maharaj, he asked Maharaj, what is the purpose of family life? What is the purpose of Grihastha Ashram? Maharaj is very well known for giving very cryptic, short answers. And Maharaj says the purpose of Grihastha Ashram is to give up. Give up. Yeah, it's very strong, just to give up. And the whole Varnashram is like this only. Varnashram is designed to develop gradual detachment. Out of the 4 ashramas, 3 are detached. Brahmacharya, Vanprastha, Sannyas, renunciation. And the Grihastha Ashram is also a transitory phase, and then give up. So we have to just have a wind-up plans for this material world and elevating our Krishna consciousness. Now, when we hear these things, sometimes we say, no, it's not so easy. It's easier to say than done. We have so many family responsibilities, how to do this, how to do that. Okay, understood. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to South Indian visit, we know the past tense, and he meets Kurma Brahman. And the Kurma Brahman says, I want to give up my family life and I want to accompany you. Mahaprabhu said, never say like this, never. He said, I'll just share those prayers with you. They're very interesting, and Prabhupada's purport is also interesting. So just a minute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 7th chapter, and verse number 128 or 129. Just bring it on the screen. Yeah, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this very nice instruction. Jare dekho tare kaha Krishna upadesh, amar agya guru hai tare desh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Jare dekho tare kaho. Now, how to live in this material world? Mahaprabhu has said in this Kali Yuga is the best way. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh, amar agya guru hai tare desh. And Prabhupada says, this is the sublime mission of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Many people come and inquire whether they have to give up family life to join the society, but that is not our mission. One can remain comfortably in his residence. We simply request everyone to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. If one is a little literate and can read Bhagavad Gita as it is, and Srimad Bhagavatam, that is so much the better. These works are now available in an English translation and done very authoritatively to appeal all classes of man. So instead of living engrossed in material activities, people throughout the world should take advantage of this moment and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra at home with their families. One should also refrain from sinful activities. Prabhupada says, wherever we go, in our place of work, in our neighborhood, in our relationships, everywhere wherever we go, we just chant, and we should make them chant. We should preach. And the next word Prabhupada says, Kabuna badive tomar vishayatarang punarapi ethai pabe monasang. Lord Chaitanya said, I'm sorry. Kabuna badive tomar vishayatarang punarapi ethai pabe monasang. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised Brahman Kurma, if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulatory principles, we'll again meet here, or rather, you will never lose my company. So very nice, golden statements. So wherever we are, we should preach. And if we are preaching as per Prabhupada's instructions, what will happen is Kabuna Badhibe Tomar Vishayatar. If you follow these instructions, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow this regulatory principle, will again eat here, or rather you will never lose my company. The Lord Chaitanya will always stay with us. So to give up something, we need some higher taste. So the higher taste comes by preaching. Prabhupada's one disciple, Prabhupada named him Bhavanand. He said, what is the meaning of this Bhavanand? He said, Prabhupada says, the Anand, the player of this material world. But the material world is a miserable place, Dukhalya. Prabhupada says, but it has only one pleasure, one happiness, that is the happiness of preaching. Okay. So Bhavanand is preaching. So Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Pradesh. So when we preach, as per the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, we get a higher taste. And then automatically we don't get contaminated by the lower modes of nature. And we give up all our lower habits. Okay. So this is a practical way. Now this is a verse, it's not that it's meant only for the householders. Now all the name of the chapter is Ideal Family Life. And but the principles now we are going to conclude is applicable for everyone, for whichever ashram one is in. Okay. Like we discussed, this material world is a temporary place, and one should not be very much eager and ambitious to have for economic development or for improving the status of his life in this material world. Okay. And to have developed this kind of renunciation, one should be getting some higher taste. Okay. So the higher taste will come by preaching. So the principle is whether in Brahmachari ashram or in Grastha ashram, one should enthusiastically preach. And in ISKCON, all services are meant for preaching only. Whether we are doing management, we are doing the kitchen service, in the back end or account service, we all are here to facilitate preaching, facilitate the spreading of Hare Krishna Andolan, okay, movement. So it's all, one principle is that we'll get the higher taste if we preach, number one. Number two, we should take this material world as the prasad, as the mercy of the Lord. When we take this material world, taking material world as mercy means whatever is happening in our life, whatever we are getting, it is the mercy of the Lord. So this attitude will bring gratitude in our heart. And with this gratitude, we'll remain satisfied. And then we attract more mercy of the Lord. And then this transcendental knowledge will reveal in our heart. So taking this attitude is very important. Taking this material world as a mercy of the Lord, not as a bhoga, not as a source of enjoyment for me, but as a mercy from the Lord. So this will bring me more, I'll attract more mercy. So number one is one should preach. Number two, we learn from this verse is that taking everything as a mercy of the Lord, as the prasad of the Lord. And number three is not to be attached with whatever facilities we have. When we are in Brahmachari ashram or in Grastha ashram, we get a lot of facilities. In the name of service also, in the name of Yukta Vairagya also, we get a lot of facilities, power, position, post, etc. So because if we get attached to them, and material world, nothing is permanent, it's going to be snatched away. So one should remain detached. One should try to practice Yukta Vairagya. Nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to the Lord. So for practicing this Yukta Vairagya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj says, one should have spiritual integrity. Spiritual integrity means one should have very good sadhana, one should be honest with oneself. So that way, these three principles we can remember, taking everything in this material world as a mercy of the Lord, that will help us to develop gratitude for the Lord, for the devotees, for our spiritual master. And secondly, not to be attached with the facilities, but to try to practice Yukta Vairagya. Third is to get a higher taste in this material world, so that we don't get attached to small things in this material world. We should try to vigorously preach and assist in preaching. Okay, that's what I could discuss from this, and I'm feeling myself very privileged, and to be even amongst all of you. And I still remember when I came to Ujjain last time, I couldn't meet His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, but I had very limited interactions with him. when I joined ISKCON in the year 97 or so. So I had the great fortune of having his darshan in Delhi. And at that time, in the month of December or so, he had come for shooting a Bhajan, serial, TV serial. So I was so much impressed by Maharaj's mildness, humility. I was meeting him for the first time, but it appeared to me that, he knew me for so many years. And that was the first interaction I had. And then I asked, who is he? He's a sannyasi. Oh, he's a sannyasi and directing the serial. Wow, so talented. And then with some congregation members, we went to Mayapur. And in the Mayapur, then he was there, Maharaj was there. And then he invited all the congregation members for a feast. He himself offered feast, and such a nice, delicious Bengali feast. So many wonderful items. And then Maharaj gave a lecture, and before lecture, he sang a very sweet bhajan. Sundar Lala, Sachirad Lala, Nache Shani Kirtan. So that was very amazing. I still had the impressions, those impressions in my heart. And then sometimes he used to come to East of Kailash temple. I just had a very darshan, momentary darshan. And then 2016, he came to Punjabi Bagh in the evening. And it was and we all were celebrating Golden Jubilee celebration of his cons registration. And then, he gave lecture, and I still remember that lecture, contents of that lecture. The Maharaj was speaking about Srila Prabhupada in London, how he met Beatles, how Paul McCartney was there, how he offered his guest farmhouse to ISKCON. In detail, Maharaj gives all the descriptions. And there he was mixing with all the congregation members, just like they were like family members. And Maharaj was so pleasing. And then in Mayapur again, when I went there, then I have a very good friend, his Grace Giriraj Prabhu. He stays in Gurgaon. He's disciple of Bhakti Sai Maharaj. So he introduced me to Maharaj. Maharaj is Rukmini Krishna. I normally go to Punjabi Bagh. I talk to him. So Maharaj thanked me. Thank you for taking care of him. I said, no, Maharaj, I invited him. So there were very few interactions I had with Maharaj, but they left a very deep impression in my heart. And let's pray that he has been such a wonderful example for all of us. Whatever we discussed, he was Pakka Prabhupada man. Then he took a session for us in GBC College, and his favorite 3 instructions: never leave ISKCON. GBC is the ultimate authority, and your love for Prabhupada will be known how you cooperate. So we should take these instructions to our heart. And let's make this the chapter of this name of this chapter is Ideal Family Life. And Prabhupada has said ISKCON is like a home where the whole world can stay. So ISKCON is a big family. So let's make this family an ideal family. So whichever ashram we are in whichever temple we belong to, so let's make a big family, ideal family life. And these 3 principles we discussed, we can make an ISKCON, an ideal family, that we all take everything as a mercy of the Lord, and then try to practice Yukta Vairagya, not to be attached with the facilities or power post position we have, and preach vigorously and help each other in preaching. So thank you very much. Any questions or any comments? You're most welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Vyasdev Prabhuji will ask on the behalf of some devotees are met on chat. They posted the questions in the chat. Is it Vyasdev Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhu. There is one question from Kirtida Gopika Mataji.
Yeah.
And she's asking, my question is, in which form the soul reaches Golok Vrindavan, and how much time does the soul take to reach Goloka? Like for going to Vaikuntha, a plane comes from Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
Does a plane come from Goloka also or not?
Why not? Plane will also come. And all these things are transcendental, and we cannot estimate what is the speed and what is the path he will follow. But in Bhagavad Bhagavatam we say when the Gokumar is going back to Godhead, going back to Golok, he says it was such a nice, I had never seen this path because he had gone to all the planetary systems in this universe. But it's altogether different path. And the path it was itself was so illuminated and full of happiness. And within a moment, he was there in Krishna's company. It doesn't take any time, And which form? Because the soul in this material world is in a compressed form, 1/10,000 on tip of the hair. So when we give our body, mind, and word in the movement of Srila Prabhupada, then we realize our Swarup by the mercy of spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. And when we realize our Swarup, our constitutional form, our real form, so then we go back to Godhead. And Prabhupada says, normally what happens is when a conditioned living entity has realized his Swarup, before going back to Golok, he gets a chance on this earthly planet, wherever Lord is performing his pastimes on the earthly planet, in the Gokul, he gets a chance to associate with the Lord. The Lord is performing his pastimes in the material world, and then along with the Lord, he goes back to God.
Hare
Don't worry
Krishna.
about that. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Next.
Prabhuji. So second question is from Jagajivan Prabhu. As we hear, the Lord provides food for even ant and elephants. But as per statistics, every year more than 3.1 million children and total more than 5 million people dying due to starvation and malnutrition. In this time of our lecture, 1 hour, more than 300 people died. Sorry if it's a wrong question.
No, that's not a question. And all these problems are not God created. Prabhupada says these are man created. Because we are not following the principle of spiritual communism, Ishavasya Idam Sarvam. We are not sharing with each other. And that's why, because of our misplanning, because of our lording over tendencies, because of our exploiting the material nature, we are causing this kind of miseries. Due to this we are getting reactions. All this COVID crisis is there. So tsunamis are coming. So these are all our reactions we are getting because we are not acting as per the plan of the Lord. The Lord has provided for every living entity sufficiently. Okay. But because of our mismatch, we are not utilizing in the spirit of cooperation. And because we have created our own zones, somewhere the food grains are being wasted, somewhere people are starving. So if everyone thinks that everything belongs to the Lord and they can share each other, and everyone will be very much prosperous. There is no scarcity of food, I think. So because we are interfering in the plan of the Lord, that's why we are getting miseries. It is artificially created. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prajit. So thank you for that answer, Prajit. And next question is, Prabhuji, how to understand when we have to simply depend on Krishna and when we have to be practical?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, because I forgot to mention this. In the name of being dependent on Krishna, one should not become lazy. Very good point you brought out. Thank you. Prabhupada says in the purpose, don't be lazy in the guise of devotional service. I'm a devotee. Many times, people join Krishna consciousness at the initial stage. They say, yes, some Maya hai, everything is Maya. So I won't touch anything. Okay. So now spiritual life means I'm relaxed. No. So we should not be lazy. So how should we work and how much we should depend? It is said we should work as if everything depends on me. Everything depends on my efforts. But for the result, we should depend on Krishna. A devotee is never lazy. Devotee works harder than the materialistic person because devotee has to take care of his body, his family also, and also he has to advance in Krishna consciousness also. So devotee is very hardworking, is never lazy. So we should be in our office, in our business, we should work very honestly, but intelligently, not to get ourselves too much entangled. And at the same time, we should not be, lazy, procrastinating things in the name, it's all Maya. No, for a devotee, everything is working under the internal energy of the Lord. Nothing is Maya. It's all Yog Maya. We have to connect everything with Krishna. So that way. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Prabhuji. There is another question. Thanks so much. Thanks for such a wonderful class. You mentioned that purpose of life is to give up, but we see rather than freeing ourselves from so many entanglements, keep accepting things in name of Yukta Vairagya without practicing renunciation on gross level. How we can have it on subtle level? Kindly give some practical solution for accepting things in mood of renunciation. Some example from your life that you would have realized.
Well, difficult to say for my realization, but what I can say is probably it's a very practical thing you have asked, because in this con we see we have so much of glamour also, and we get facilities in the name of service, very good facilities, laptops, cars, everything we have. So it's it can be very contaminating also if you are not careful. That's why one should, that I said, before practicing Yukta Vairagya, one should have spiritual integrity. One should be very much honest with himself, and one should have a very good sadhana standards. So once we have some facilities to a devotee, it should be closely supervised also. It should be under supervision. Nowadays, the smartphone has become a necessary evil. For preaching, you need smartphone for all the facilities, but it is so contaminating also. So, we need it also, and we cannot avoid it also, but it's very contaminating also. So until unless one has good spiritual standards, it will be very difficult for him to stay away from Maya. And so one should be following good spiritual standards also, and one should be under supervision. Only then some facility should be given. And the other way is that we should keep on rotating the devotees in their service profile, because with some services we get more facility, in some service the external facilities may not be so much. We keep on rotating the devotees, so then that kind of attachment doesn't develop, and some detachment automatically comes. Okay. And my practical experience you are asking is, see, I avoid the smartphone for a very long time. For the last few months only I started using smartphone. So I was avoiding it as much as possible. Then I came to know that I'm not able to keep myself abreast with everything. Things were happening around. People say, oh, you didn't receive WhatsApp? We sent it on WhatsApp. So I was not aware. So I had to take it. But practical thing, whatever we can do is, we need smartphone, but in my morning program, I never carry this phone. Because basic core spiritual practices, we should not get disturbed. So perform our core spiritual practices very nicely, and then we are in a proper consciousness, and then we can use it. Again, we should remain under supervision also. That's my take. It's a very delicate question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There is one question. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna and Dhanvat Pranam. I want to ask that, Prabhuji, when I read books of Prabhupada or chant, I feel from inside that there is a call from Lord Krishna. I don't know why. So I want to know from you, Prabhuji, what's happening, why it's happening.
So when you read and chant, you feel there's a call from Krishna. Very good. You're very fortunate. So keep on chanting, keep on reading. And as Prabhupada has told us, when in chanting, one should cry. It should be like a genuine cry of a child for his mother. So maybe you have spiritual credits from your previous births. So continue and try to follow all the instructions given in the purport. And be under some, I hope you have some mentor or counselor with you. So be under his supervision, because sometimes our mind may also cheat us. The mind may deviate also. Deviate us from the proper path, from the proper instructions given in the purport. But getting something from the inside your heart is not wrong. But if you are under proper supervision, so you will be more safe. And just take it as a mercy of the Lord. Just if you are calling from the Krishna, it's a very good reciprocation. So do it. And the symptoms of this, that you're getting a calling from Krishna, Whenever you're reading and chanting, you will be very, very enthusiastic in serving the mission. Now, this is the bottom line. By getting this call, you get more enthused to serve the devotees, to serve the holy name, to spread the holy name around. That means you are very, very fortunate.
Pradeep,
Yes,
thank you
Prabhu?
for that answer. And there is one question from Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble pranams. My question is that something in life, when we suffers, then the first thing which happens is we distract and start neglecting sadhana, reading and hearing as well. Kindly enlighten the way to be stick in devotional service and to improve the taste of chanting. Your
Yeah,
useless.
that's a very practical question. Yeah. So, there are two kind of atheists. One is a philosophical atheist and one is psychological atheist. So most of us are not philosophical atheists. Philosophically, we accept God exists, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But unfortunately, on a psychological level, we sometimes behave like atheists. So when some miseries come, we don't accept it as a mercy of the Lord. It's very, very difficult to accept it as a mercy of the Lord. But one thing can save us, and that is the association of devotees. So one should never leave the association of devotees, even if the miseries are coming and we on our own, we are not able to face them, we are feeling down and out, remain in the association of devotees. Okay. So devotees will give us a right perspective and they'll really back up us, and we won't lose our balance, number one. Number two, when the things are going good, so-called good, I mean, the miseries are not there, then we should develop the good habits of having steady sadhana, good quality chanting, quality hearing and reading. So it becomes a sort of habit for us. So when it becomes a habit for us, even when the miseries come, out of your own habit, you won't be able to leave them. I've seen many devotees like that. Recently, one of our brahmacharis, he lost his mother, and all of a sudden, the mother had a liver failure. She was very healthy, normal. Suddenly, she developed fever. Then all the tests were done. Hepatitis came out, and the liver. They brought her to Delhi and admitted. They were thinking of liver transplant, and she collapsed. But all through, I could observe this brahmachari. He was staying in the lobby in the hospital. Mother was in the ICU, critical condition. Even in those conditions, he was all alone, a very, very tense situation. Just imagine all of a sudden everything is happening. And he's the only son, and he has dedicated his life in the mission. What will be the future, he doesn't know. But in those tense moments only, brahmachari, he was getting up early in the morning around 2:30, first completing his rounds, reading some Srimad Bhagavatam. And then, once the people start waking up after 6, 7 in the morning, so many calls, blood, arranging for the blood, running around here, there, whole day is running around. But I said, how are you managing? He said, Prabhuji, because of this good sadhana practice, even these tense moments, I'm very happy. I know I may lose my mother, but even in these tense moments, I'm able to tackle this situation in a much balanced manner. Okay, so that really gave me a lot of courage, a lot of faith in the process. Because when the going is good, we should not become complacent, and then we should be try to develop as a habit, and still always remain in the association of devotees. On our own, ekaki amar nahi payabal. So these are two things. I mean, these are my takes. Otherwise, I know it's easy to say, but these two things may help. Right, Mataji?
Thank you, Brady. There is another question again. We see that animals also suffer from hunger and thirst during the summer season. How to understand in regard no shortage for anyone, even in this material world.
Yeah, because animals are suffering. In the previous verses, Narada Muni is saying, it is the duty of all the grasshas to feed all the animals as their sons only. Because people don't know. Because we are not acting as per the plan of the Lord. And that's why so many miseries are coming by natural disturbances are coming. So it is a responsibility of a human being only to feed the animals, to ensure no one is hungry. And that's for that only the Grahastha ashram is there. But unfortunately, because of avidya, because of ignorance, we are causing business to ourselves also and to others also.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So far, we had this much questions. We are very much fortunate to have your association today by the via medium of Bhagavatam class on Zoom, and we also doing this like parallel to this Zoom session. We also broadcasted it on YouTube and also on Facebook page in Hindi. So we are simultaneously we're doing Hindi translation as well with this. So on Zoom participant might be less, but also on YouTube and on Facebook we have other participants who are watching.
Yeah.
So we are very much thankful to you for giving your time to us, and we express our gratitude by chanting one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare.
Thank you. And I thank to all
Thank
of
you very
you.
much.
Yes, Jagatiyan Prabhu, you gave me this
Prabhuji, please
opportunity.
visit Ujjain again
Yes,
Yeah,
as soon
definitely.
as
I'm
I,
looking forward. I am looking forward. I still miss that reception you all people give us. Love, so much love and affection. Thank you so much. Jai, Amrit Pranam. Jai, Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai,
Shri
Gaur
Rukmini Krishna Prabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhu.
Prabhupada ki Jai.